a link to the space or something, but it gives the room a deeper feel with more attendance, especially if the panelists are in there. It kind of backs up what we're saying, and
so guys,
it's good practice. Good practice too.
Dopestilo, we're live. We're in the space.
Yeah.
People can maybe hear us, hopefully hear us. Hey guys, can you give me a sign in the spatial chat if you can hear me? Havo is there, Q is there, Jen is there. Anyone? Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, Jen can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. Okay, so I want to share my screen already, because if I share my screen, you guys will be able to see our special panelists for the day. So give me a second. It's happening. It's happening. Okay. I think you guys should be visible now in the space and audible. And yeah. Okay. Let's get started. You good, Maximilian?
Well, except for one thing, Brendan, do you know your camera's off?
I don't know if that's intentional. Can you turn on your camera?
Yeah, I'm just trying to set up the lights. I was getting the link over to join the spatial. Yeah, don't worry. Okay. I won't leave y'all hanging. I'll be there in a second. I'm hearing voice and getting the spatial link up right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you have any audio feedback, just mute your tab in your browser.
Yeah, I will try and do this. Is my feedback bad? Is it bad right now?
Nope, I can't hear in there. I just telling the panelists.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. So people in the spatial space can hear me. So I'm just gonna start this party because it's the second lounge party of the day. We're just totally overdoing it. We are not having one but two lounge parties and no magazine. So I told everyone, first of all, welcome everyone. I'm taking on PinkCryptoBabe's role tonight because obviously for her it's really late right now in Europe. So I'm going to be hosting and facilitating, whilst Maximilian is our special host, and we have some super awesome guests for you who are going to talk about the synergies of music and gaming on blockchain level. So this is even for me kind of like a new field and super exciting. So I'm glad you guys could make time and join us. Yeah, I actually want to say a few words about the magazine itself, which is that we want to make sure that we're proofreading everything quite well. Oh, Shriek, can you mute your spatial avatar?
Yeah, one second. I just have to move rooms.
That room is...
At least now the feedback is not on me, because usually it is definitely on me, right? Okay. I also realized there was a... Yeah, okay, cool. That's awesome.
You can't hear me on spatial, right?
Yeah, no, now you're good. Alrighty, so about the magazine, we are in the last stages of proofreading. Our editor-in-chief, which is also Maximilian, is doing the hard job of like speed running through 124 very full pages of really solid content. So she's not having an easy job that she took on there. And she's doing her best. But at the same time, we also had a bug in the smart contract. So I think it was just not meant to actually go live today. But we're not quite worried about this because that content is solid and it's going to be solid next week as well. Alrighty, let's get this space started by actually handing over everything to Maximilian because she's going to lead the panel. And I think this is also why you guys are here. So would you do the honors?
It's my pleasure. I'm so happy to be here with my friends. I do consider them my friends. FRENS and the other kind too, my friends. Because I always feel like friends are people who help you learn. Friends are people who allow you to see what they're doing. Friends are people who share information. They share their troubles, they share their victories. And I can say that Dopestilo, God Cloud, Black Dave, Brendan, I'm just meeting for the first time. But But it's in his makeup as well. We're sharing as we go along, and it's really hard not to feel friendship when you grow together. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my friends. We've got Dope Stilo, God Cloud, Black Dave, and we've got Brendan. I'm going to let each person introduce themselves to you. And who would like to go first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just gotta jump in. I'm Dave, Black Dave in the streets. I like to tell people that I'm a creative person working at the intersection of rap music, anime, streetwear, and sneakers. Most people who know me from my, especially blockchain Web3 exploits, know me as music and also trash on the internet. So I'm happy to be featured in that. So.
We may have to come back and try Dave's intro again because I think we have some internet issues. Did y'all hear him clearly? You could hear Dave? It's just me?
I heard him, yeah.
Okay, it's just me. Am I buggy? Okay.
No,
you sound
good. You sound
okay.
fine.
Okay, dope. All right. Thank you so much, Dave. Sorry about my little... All right, God Cloud, you're up next. Will you introduce yourself to the people and tell them what you do?
For sure. I am God Cloud, first finger drummer on the Ethereum blockchain. Right now I'm working with Malas Palabras Records, record label owned by George Lopez and Eddie Vargas from Santana. We're doing some really cool stuff. Got a wallet, got some wild stuff. We'll get into that later, I suppose. But yeah, happy to be here, and thanks for the invite. Really appreciate it.
Right on. Oh, God Cloud, you're so much fun too. I'm looking forward to this chat. Dope Stilo, you're up next. Will you introduce yourself to the people and tell us what you do?
Yo, what up, everyone? My name is Dope Stilo, and I'm a huge enthusiast of the digital culture. I'm an event curator in physical and digital realms.
Ooh.
I love the power of the blockchain. I love the power that has been enthralled upon us. So I'm a huge fan of what's going on right now, and I'm here to push it forward and help in any way I can, being an example for independence in people and human artistry. So coming out of LA, Los Angeles, California, but I'm from South America, and I'm ready to rock.
It's so good to see you, Dope Stilo. I love your energy. Brendan, you're up next. Will you introduce yourself and tell us all about you and your beautiful organization?
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Sorry about I'm trying to figure out which is best on my laptop out here, and then the Wi-Fi didn't get me here. Yeah, no, I appreciate the invite. There's a lot of dope people in here, no pun intended with Dope Stilo. But I love the space and what everyone's building. I think that, there's a lot of people that are building great experiences here, and I'm happy to be with creators. To give a little bit of intro about our organization, I'm the CEO, founder of Protocol Gemini, and I'm the co-founder of Cybercrew. We're making really cool stuff. We've got a really dope experience coming out 10/10/23 called Into the Cyberverse. It's it's pretty ambitious. I think a few of y'all have already found kind of the early alpha access, but I'm really excited to kind of get it in the public's hand, and I think people will really enjoy it. Yeah.
We like that early alpha, or in my case, early galpha. That's fantastic. Well, I look forward to learning more about what we can do. I really feel like when it comes to new technology, the best way to introduce it to people is to talk about use cases, right? So I'm really big on use cases in terms of showing what's valuable. Right? So for anyone who doesn't know, my name is Maximilian. My friends call me Maximilian. I don't go by Max. Unless you'd like a bloody nose, then definitely you should call me that. But my friends call me Maximilian. I'm an artist, a digital creator. I create in 3D. I create fashion and music. I'm a screenwriter and a performing artist. I'm a woman with many voices, and I like to use them all. I'm an activist for artists and everything that I think is good. And I'm here today with my friend and partner in the magazine, Stella. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because we can't leave you out. She's like, no, but you must,
because I'm such a coordination genius. This is why you should leave me out. Hi, my name is Stella. I'm the founder of the Alana project. ALANAmagazine is one of our development branches. In the Alana project, we're organized essentially as a community. So we are thriving to turn into a DAC, which is a decentralized autonomous company. That's our idea. But let's just say the road is long and heavy, but we're going to get it done because that's what we do here over at Alana. We get stuff done. And I'm just super excited for this panel today. I also want to thank Brandon a little bit more specifically because he's also a partner of the magazine and he made a lot of things possible that would not have been possible without him. So thank you for that. Thank you to Protocol Gemini and the team.
I need to interrupt you and say that nothing I do would be possible without you. You're my spirit animal.
Oh.
No, seriously. If anybody's like actually worked with her or like been fortunate enough to get any kind of advice from her, take it. She's brilliant, and like honestly, she's on our advisor panel, and like she's brilliant. That's all.
Guys, it's like so much honor for today. Okay, let's shift the focus again. But thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we can't leave you out. It's so wonderful to have you here too. So now I'm wondering, Stella, are you going to show us a little bit of the interior pages of the magazine?
Shall I do that? I shall
yes,
do
please.
that, shouldn't I? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me try and share this also in the space because I need to unshare here. But I opened the magazine specifically for that. So let's just hope this is gonna work because I do really want to show you. I'm so proud of this and what everyone has been doing. So let me try and do this. And then I can also show the guys their pages, right? Because they haven't seen yet. Okay, and wait, are you guys all in spatial? Wait, I'm also gonna share it with you for you here. So if you're not in spatial, you can see it here. I think that would probably be a good idea. Okay, so does everyone see my screen, my entire screen?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice page.
You should say this. So this is the article about Protocol Gemini. Also, wait, let me remove the guidelines. Here's Brandon in full beauty, as a full beauty shot. Some of the latest products of Protocol Gemini, and here we go into music. And of this, definitely Maximilian has been a thriving force, really a shooting star. With no falling down. So it's really worth it. Like I really enjoy proofreading all of these articles. They're really well written. She's a fantastic writer. Wow. And she also has incredible ideas for layouting. So this is you guys, right? These are like all your quotes and everything. So I don't want to spoil too much. And also the pixels of this image will be removed once it's exported. So not that you think we're gonna pixelate people out there. It's all high res. Then look at this section, dope stilo. Just I want people to snatch screenshots. I'm just like, it's too good to give it away. And NFT music discovery platforms for people like me who had no clue, even though I've been in this space for a little bit, right? I had no clue there are all of these platforms. So I really enjoyed discovering them the other week, going through this. And then in the sense of gaming, if you actually own a Protocol Gemini space NFT or any other space NFT, I'm sorry, also all others it counts for, you will actually get all of these assets with the magazine. They're ready, they're game ready, and you can import them in any space you want. And yeah, so this is a little bit of what we have in here. This is obviously only one section.
So sexy.
But I think this is enough spoilers, isn't it?
Super hot.
Awesome. Glad you guys like it.
Looks great.
Alpha or Galpha.
Yes.
Definitely. Okay, let me share you guys back into the I want everyone to see you guys. So let me switch stuff around. Share screen, and here you go. All right. You're back.
We are? I see. Oh. Okay. Yes. So I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to see the pages. As you know, this is the theme of this issue is Earth. And so when Stella and I were talking about how we were going to manage the content for this magazine, we made this really tough decision. We were like, everything has to be Earth theme, everything. So when it came to our interviews and our conversations, I wanted also to fit into that theme. And as I was going through our interviews and all of our conversations with Dope Stilo and Black Dave and God Cloud, I was realizing, Dope Stilo, his thing is consistency, so many weeks in a row performing live and spatial, right? And, I was like, that's speaking to me of water. Some of the different things that Dave and God Cloud talked to me about, they did speak to me of the elements, like, being a constant presence, is that like air? Because do you ever worry about if you're going to be able to take your next breath? You should, but we don't, right? There's something about like, a presence. So when the article is open and you're able to look at it, I hope that you will also see yourself more than just the words that you spoke, but also I see you embodying these elements that sustain us. And Black Dave, Dope Stilo, God Cloud, and Brendan definitely with Gemini, with Protocol Gemini, and Stella and myself, we are all continually sustaining this space. Each of us individually, we create containers for music to happen. We create containers, or as my friends say, we hold space for conversations to happen, for music to happen, for questions to happen. So I feel like, even though it's not official, I very much feel like this is the music issue because we really dug deep into music this time. So I wanted to chat with you guys and ask, because each of you, as I mentioned before, you have such unique expertise in what you're doing. And I wanted to ask, what skills do you feel that other people could develop, right, that would assist knowing what you know now? Like, what are the skills that are required to excel in this space? Dave, would you like to share your insights on this?
Yeah. Do I sound better? Do I look good?
Oh, yeah, you look great.
Perfect. Okay. Something that I got really lucky with when I came into this whole world was that I'm someone who loves to be at home, but loves to talk to people. So I believe it's kind of in my personality type. I'm an extrovert who performs best in places that are comfortable, as opposed to just going out and being around people. I'd rather be like, hey, everyone come to my house. I would love to be around you at my house, I think something that has been really great for me that I think would be really great for others, especially as they're into Web3, especially in these times more than when things are easier, is the ability to simplify things, to put things into layman's terms, for lack of a better word. I like to say that my superpower is making really hard things look and sound really easy. I skateboard. It looked like I could do any trick, even though I couldn't do a lot of tricks. And I'm able to explain pretty tough concepts pretty simply in Web3 and in other fields that I understand. So I think that's one of the main things, is trying to find a way to turn really tough concepts into really simple ones, because getting people into what you're up to can be a bit daunting because of all the new tools that people are using. And so try to find ways to simplify what's happening. And then as you learn more, then you can start trying to bang out all the details. But just, basics first, details second. For me, it's explaining things simply is a skill that I think a lot of people can benefit from, especially creatives and even doubly collectors and builders and consumers.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Definitely. Would anyone else like to add their insights to this?
Well, I'll take the bait. Can I go?
Yes, please, Brendan. I would love to hear from you.
So I'm going to say, I think that's really cool, Dave, especially sharing the part. Because, like, for instance, a lot of people don't know this about me. Stella knows this, but she still doesn't believe me. But I'm an introvert, right? And it's like, okay, you're an introvert, but, you get out there and you talk to people. And, I mean, you kind of have to do what I do, right? And I think that's a big thing. So, like, if you're saying what skill do you need to develop, I'd say the biggest, most important skill is doing it, and doing shit. And then you figure out what your core strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what you need to improve, or what you enjoy. You know what I mean? And if you're passionate about things, like, you can spend 5 hours doing it versus the stuff, like Stella knows this. There's stuff that I dread, and she's like, Brendan, just fucking do it. Just do it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. And then you get better at that too, and you become a more well-balanced person. But then, like Dave was saying, you still got your superpowers, right? So the aim, I think, for everybody is to get pretty good at, all the things that you need to do, while still kind of focusing on your superpowers. Like, there's things like, my team will come to me and be like, you're pretty much the only one that can do this. And it takes me 30 minutes, whereas it could have taken them hours, right? And you can only figure out those things by building shit and doing stuff and getting out there, even when you don't want to. That's it.
I need the sound. I need the sound bite for Dave and Brendan. I need to be like, take that to the bank.
Hey, Dave, ready? Are you too far behind? You're gonna leave me hanging.
All right.
Yeah.
Got
We kind of got it.
Dope Steelo, Godclad, would either of you like to add your insights to this? Do you want me to refresh the question?
Yeah, I would say for me, like, something that I've learned is to, like, communicate better. I've learned a lot about myself as well. So I think being involved, being integrated, and really immersing yourself in the, like, culture of what's going on and working well with others is a very underrated task. I think, like, as we evolve, we grow more consciousness, we grow within ourselves, we learn about how to be better every day. That's all we want to do, I believe. It's, and so, communicating is something that I've learned, to be better at. I've learned to integrate myself with not just one tribe or one blockchain, but to be open to different avenues and different billboards in this walk of life, using each billboard for its purpose. So, like, if you're a musician, you don't have to just be on Ethereum, or you don't have to just be solely Web3, but maybe use, Web2 for what it's worth and what it's there for at the moment. But utilizing the blockchain to get ahead and be different, own your art, and stand out.
Godclad, would you share your insights on this? What skills do you feel developers and creators could leverage to really do well in this industry, in our sector?
So this is a new concept that I've been kind of telling everybody for the past 4 days. And it's not really to do with skills and everything of how we create things, but just starting with yourself. If you take care of these two tenets, everything you approach in Web3, you're gonna have better outcomes. And what I've been telling people now, because something that I've been working on personally, is honing and trying to balance my emotional and financial intelligence. Because for whatever reason, in this space, those two things can really battle each other and cause people to make some mistakes, and a lot of times anytime I've seen people having a hard time, it's because those things are out of balance or they're lacking maybe both of those things. So financial and emotional intelligence, hone it, develop it, balance it. That's what I tell. That's just for anybody. That's just life in general, but especially here.
I'm just like, I hope everybody's writing it down, because I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, Stella, would you please share your insights? Oh, I know you thought you weren't going to answer this question, but I can't not ask you, because you are also brilliant, and it would be cheating everyone not to hear your insights as well.
Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. Fine.
It's okay. I know you know the answer. Like, what skills do you feel that people who are entering this sector, right? What skills do you feel like they could leverage, or develop to really do well here?
So first of all, I think I totally agree also. I mean, I agree with all of you, but what resonated the most was what Dope Stilo said, that, just because you're starting to enter this space doesn't mean you have to go full extreme on everything at the same time, essentially, right? You can take it step by step and hone the skills that you need to take one step after the other. I think a lot of people that come in this space, and it's exactly what God Cloud also said, it's like, they get attracted to crypto, right? Then they do crazy stuff that you shouldn't be doing, like betting your little girl's college fund on crypto. I honestly, I've seen it all, right? It's crazy. But it's more common than you think. So I totally agree with him. And I think take it easy, learn, observe, one step after the other, and go forward. And when it comes to creator skills, I just think it's important to understand better, where do you want to go with this, right? Because there are so many different opportunities in this space. And this is also why we compiled the magazine, because I don't know how many newsletters you get every week, but I'm easily beyond like 50, 60 newsletters by now. So I'm like, who's going to read all of this? Who can, we're not yet Neuralink enabled, right? So we cannot process all of this data by ourselves. Our brains are just not great enough. So I think it's really important that we have good resources. And I think, foundations like the Ethereum Foundation, not saying that Maximilian and I are ETH maxis, maybe a little bit. But I think they've been doing, for example, a great job. And, other companies who are between Web 2 and Web 3 have been starting to do a good job with that, because they realize this space, until it's not safe for everyone, is not as attractive as we initially thought it would be, right? Just because it's exciting doesn't mean safe is not important. So, yeah, anyway, this is my 2 cents.
That was like 2 million cents, and I appreciate it. It's really important.
And Maximilian, you beat me. I was going to say that. Honestly, I was like, your currency is worth more.
Right? I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't fiat. That's like 2 Bitcoins. That's your 2 Bitcoin right there, okay?
Yeah, save it,
Right? I've been in the space now for almost 3 years, and I feel like the most important thing that a person can develop is better learning skills. Here's a little personal story. When I first went to college, I didn't graduate, don't worry. But when I started, I love school, but one thing I was really shocked is that there was a course that taught me how to study. And I said, there's a course to teach you how to study? And it just blew my mind. And when I looked into it, I realized that I actually was never no one ever taught me how to learn. And when I realized that there's a way to organize your materials beyond just the chapters or whatever you're learning, that there's like habits that we can do to help our learning be easier. I think if a person is not naturally, like I naturally would like to learn things all the time, but if that doesn't come naturally, I think the best thing a person can leverage coming into this space is to find a way to initiate that desire to learn. Because what will happen is you'll come and you'll start to realize that you need to start learning stuff so that you can execute your ideas. And if you're not willing to learn, you will constantly be looking for other people to fill in your blanks. And sometimes it's easier to just invest some time and gain a new skill. You don't have to go crazy. Maybe just choose one new thing every year. So maybe this year, learn Python. Next year, you can learn verse. And then you can, just choose one thing each year that will give you big gap. And how to choose that thing to learn, I would say definitely choose a hard skill like a language, right? So like, choose a coding language, or learn how to use Photoshop really well, or learn how to use some tool really well. Get a hard skill, learn one new hard skill every year, and you will succeed because you'll always be expanding, but you won't kill yourself with the lessons. So that's my Galfa.
I think that was really cool. I'll let you in on a little something too. Like, so throughout, all my school time, I might have studied like 1 day or 2 days. It just, like, I'm not bragging. It just wasn't like challenging for me. But then I got to college and, I had a scholarship. So I wanted to like maintain whatever I had. And don't worry, I dropped out too. But, but what I'm getting at is, to get like a 4.0 or whatever in college requires skill set, and I didn't have that. So I actually discovered that, and I'm like, whoa, I never knew that I needed this. Whereas, like, when have I ever used the Pythagorean theorem, or what I mean? Like, there's things that they don't teach you unless you ask it or find it out for yourself. And to kind of circle back on what we were talking about earlier is like, you don't know what you need to know until you do it. And then, you need to find out like what you need to know and learn it. And then it's practical knowledge, right? There's, an unlimited amount of educational material out there online, right? But it's of no value if it's not put to what you're doing. If it's not useful, it's not utilized, right? Then it's not useful.
Absolutely. This brings us to a really interesting thing. We're talking about what we know and what we don't know. I have this thing that I made up this like years ago, and I love to say this because it's just so true. But there's things we know. There's things that we know that we don't know. But then there's things that we don't know that we don't know. And the only way to find out those things is to make friends with somebody who likes you enough to tell you. Like, let me give you an example, right? So like when I first entered the space, I was in this space for a whole year before I even knew there was such a thing as an alpha group. I didn't know that people were meeting on Telegram and sharing about new NFT drops and crypto. I didn't even know that. And what's interesting is I was, I'm very open, but nobody just gave me this information. And then how I found out is I was chatting with this gal and she just was like, yeah, this alpha group. And I said, what is that? And you know what? At the time, I thought she was a friend of mine. She didn't want to tell me what it was. She didn't want to tell me. She was gatekeeping. And I thought, So now I understand that the thing about alpha, and, if anyone's watching this and they're like, what the hell is this galpha shit, right? Alpha is information that is highly coveted. It's not published. It's basically information that's passed word by word of mouth or in small groups. And the reason why is because the nature of alpha is that if everybody knows about it, it loses its power. So for example, if there's like only 100 of something for sale, the alpha is hey, this thing is available right now. But if you go and tell everyone, it's not good. So if it's something that everyone can know about, it's not alpha. So what's really, I thought was so interesting is I realized, I said, oh, this person, she's not invested enough in me to want to see me do well. And so I just feel like it's really important to understand that there's things that you don't know, and then try to figure out, if there's things I don't know, who would show me, and try and be close to those people. I'm coming over. I'm coming over right now.
I'll always share.
Yeah, you know?
Me too.
Honestly, this space is all about sharing and building each other up.
Yeah.
And when I find people like that, you know, I won't completely exclude them, but I also will make clear that I don't think that's appropriate, and you know, I don't condone it, right? So like you say I don't fuck with you, right? But if they come to me, I'll give them the same kind of thing too, you know? If they come to me genuinely asking a question or advice, you know, anytime I have, or any knowledge I have, or any connections I have, I share.
I really appreciate that. And, you know, this really is the next question. So what, you know, I'm going to allow everyone just like jump in when you feel inspired and you know your answer, right? But so imagine, what advice could you give to someone who's coming into the space, right? And of course, anyone watching, definitely reach out to Dave, Dopestilo, GodCloud, myself, Brendan, Stella, for sure do that. But, you know, how would you describe to someone coming in, how would you describe for them to get their feet wet? Where would you tell them to get their resources and information coming into the space? Whoever would like to go first, whoever's inspired, go for it.
Go ahead, Stella.
No, you do.
I mean, lately, I've been connecting with people online or in real life, and a lot of the first questions I've been getting a lot is like, where did you learn this? And the first thing that comes to my mind is Twitter Spaces. You know, I think the power of Twitter Spaces, X Spaces, you know, is really powerful. It's the first time in the whole history of the internet where we've been able, well, one of the first, you know, that we've been able to connect, share information in real time, no matter where in the world we are. So, you know, a lot of people don't know what's really going on. You know, there's a lot of things going on different platforms. And so for me, like, I'm going to, you know, give everything I've learned in the last year and a half to the people, and the people in you know, in X/Twitter. So for me, I say go in there, dive in. You know, luckily, like, the internet's changed so much in the last the internet is just insane. Like Brendan was saying, like, we can look up anything right now, look it up. Now there's Chat GPT. Like, I didn't even conceive of Chat GPT 2 years ago. So like, it's there. And, you know, it's up to us to show and be the example, show people what's going on. Like, it's here. So let's share it up and talk about it more.
I love that sentiment. Stella, are you gonna, or Dave? Who's up next? Whoever wants to go next.
Here, I'll drop something. Something I always have told people. This is what, you know, basically what I did. Like when we were all getting started, there weren't really, you know, we were the ones who were kind of putting those spaces together. You know, like I like have seen it like back in the day. Like I think it was myself, Dave, but bro, Paper Chase, Web, the 808 Wave. We did like a space talking about Web3. Like 62,000 people came through to that. You know, on Clubhouse, back in Clubhouse days, there weren't really places where you could go and get brought up to speed. You know what I'm saying? And what I did was I made some friends. You know, this is what I still tell people to this day. I used to say try and make 10 friends, but now I say 5. Try and make 5 friends that you can trust. You know, people who you know aren't gonna disclude you from the alpha chat, who, you know, are gonna have your back, who are, you know, invested in you and care about your well-being. And gather your information from a few different sources. One place I used to learn a lot from was I would watch a few different videos on YouTube about how to use different wallets, about how blockchains worked. You know what I mean? I'd read a lot of different things. Get that knowledge, take your notes, then go into the real world and kind of put your notes up against conversations. You know what I mean? See what people are talking about. Like, okay, they're saying that. All right, okay, cool, got it. You know, what was it? I like when I figured out that you could, you know, like disconnect your MetaMask from things you sign permissions to. You know, I didn't necessarily know that when I had MetaMask, which is when I first got it. But from listening to people talk and from checking my notes, I was like, oh, go to the events. Like, okay, you know, you figure it out. So make 5 good friends, take notes, and then put them up against conversations that you're hearing in Twitter spaces. I don't know, is Clubhouse still a thing? If that's a thing, you know, where else? Discord, wherever else, you know. So notes, then take it to the real world and see what you come up with.
That's awesome. I love the notes aspect. You know, that is serious. You know, I would just like to chime in on the notes and just be like a little bridge. You know, Dope Stilo was talking about X spaces and God Cloud was talking about notes. I just want to say, when you're listening to X spaces, I mean, I do take notes when I listen to X spaces. And, you know, just want to say this. Don't forget, let me just drop a short gal for you because I love doing this, right? So imagine you're listening to X Spaces, and I just say get a notebook with a spiral thing and just keep all of your X Spaces notes in there, right? And if you have multiple interests, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, if you have multiple interests, have a different notebook for your interests. So like I'm a musician, right? I'm also a filmmaker. So I would have a music notebook and then I would have a filmmaking notebook. And when I'm in the space, there she's got her notebook. Yo, you gonna make me get my notebook? I will before the space is over. Everybody show us your booklet. Do you get your notes? Now this is the galpa. This is the crazy part. It's the crazy part. You know, depending on how legible your handwriting is, right? But you know, you can take a screenshot of your handwriting and then you can tap this little thing to get the text. You can import that into your computer and you can have ChatGPT help you write a book, publish it on Amazon. Why not?
Oh man. This is why I love Maximilian. She be on it.
Hey, I just want to be by the pool with all of you. That's, you know. So yeah, Dave, or would you like to share your insights?
Yeah, I think mine is we're like involves me personally a lot more. I feel like I have one of those like teacher personality vibes. So normally what happens, and this is what I've been doing even pretty much up till now, is I'll send someone to the NFT Bible on OpenSea, and then I'll have them read it and come back to me and then explain to me what an NFT is. I think the thing that I think the best way to be able to tell that someone learned something is to have them teach you it. And so so I say, okay, cool, go read about it, come back, and then once they explain it to me, I'm like, yo, you got it, perfect. Let's talk about how to use it, or let's talk about the next thing. Or sometimes from there, if they're even willing to explore a little bit, I remember for a long time, I would tell people just to go get a CryptoKitty because it was just like an easy, affordable NFT to go grab. And she's like, go get a CryptoKitty and like, tell me about your experience. It's super low risk to do that. You know, you won't get your money back because, you know, CryptoKitty's time has passed. But like, I think that that's normally how I do it is I say, okay, cool, go read this, come back and show me. Okay, now let's buy a CryptoKitty. Okay, now you understand how this works. And obviously there's way more to go into that, but I think starting at those very basics and then keeping the road of conversation open. I'm always willing to be like a person who you can ask a question to, especially if it's, you know, something I super already know about. I'm really bad at like getting back to people if I have to look something up, but I'm really good at answering questions on the fly.
Yo, I love your transparency. I'm going to be super bad at getting back to people when I have to look stuff up too. I love that. Brendan, would you like to share your insights?
I'll say one of the things I try to do, in my servers, is educate people about like any kind of scams or, in Protocol Gemini Discord, I call it defense against the dark arts. Basically, protect yourself against phishing scam. Like, oh, we saw this, keep an eye on this. Anyone trying to airdrop you something, this is one of the exploits they're doing. Yada yada. I think that's really important because like someone has one bad experience in this and they're turned off completely. And I think that's something that a lot of us kind of consider is like when we bring people into this space, there's a responsibility to keep them safe too, and so like in New Orleans where I'm from, if someone's asking for directions, I'll give them the directions, but I'll also give, the alpha, right? Like, don't turn down this street. Pronounce it New Orleans, not New Orleans, because you're going to get jumped, right? Like, just keep your head, on a swivel over here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just going to like lay them out. Like, if anybody plays football, right, you don't throw it up and, let your receiver cut across the middle and get jacked up, right? No, that probably didn't fly with this group, huh?
Well, I think I understand what you're saying, though. You don't want to set someone up to get crushed.
Yeah, well, you don't leave them high and dry, right? If you're going to do it right and keep them safe. And I think that's a really important thing that we all kind of got to keep in mind. It's not enough to just give them the knowledge. You got to tell them, like, hey, this is how you stay safe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that matters a lot. Stella, would you like to share your insights here?
Yeah, sure, I can try. So first of all, obviously in the Alana project, it's an educational project. So this is what we're building, right? And I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at it, but Shelpana and I, we've been working on a 3-part journey, starting with the learner journey, where you receive a really cute NFT badge if you complete it. And it's essentially a soft intro knowledge, right? Kind of like the basics, to get down the basics. I don't know if you guys remember how hard it was like 25 years ago to log into email, but I very much still remember that because you even needed to dial into the internet, right? So I know Gen Zers can absolutely not fathom that to be a thing. Also, they sometimes struggle with the idea of not having a mobile phone. I remember those times very well. And they were difficult as well. Like my mom had a hard time with this, right? And she tried to avoid looking at her emails for the whole week because it was just a hustle to download your emails. So I think the sooner we start accepting that this is just the next level of having this kind of learner journey all over again, the sooner we will get to that level and benefit from it, right? And so, yeah, we've built out the learner journey. The next thing that we're going to launch is the co-creator challenge, because I very much believe everyone is creative by nature, but sadly a lot of us have unlearned how to access that creativity. I'm not a huge fan of, the standard education system, as you can tell. So I just think, that we have opportunities in this space to do things better, do them right. And why not try and do it in a gamified way so that it's also fun at the same time? Because I was quite good at school, but I cannot say I really liked it.
Definitely. I think a lot of us feel that way, right? And it's still, that's interesting when you're good at something but don't necessarily like it. What does that mean? Is this like it's kind of an existential question, isn't it? Maybe it's like leftover skills from the last life you had. You just, but it's hard. It's hard not to use those skills that we're good at. So true. So I have this question. It's one of my favorite questions that I love to ask. And it goes like this. What would you like? Who would you like to meet? Right? Who would you like to meet? And what would you like to do with them? And let me give like some context, right? So the who, it doesn't have to be like specific person, but For example, I hope Stilo doesn't mind if I use him for an example, because I'm thinking of, so I know, for example, that like Dope Stilo, he loves to meet musicians because he's really passionate about what he's doing and sharing how he can leverage what he's doing. And I feel like it's really important because we are the pioneers. And everyone that's here is here because you're excellent. You figured out some things, and you're really good at sharing what you've come up with. And so, what I really want to do in this segment is help people understand how they can reach out to us and what we might be able to help them achieve, or what they might be able to engage, how they might be able to engage with us. Brendan, would you like to start? Because Protocol Gemini is amazing, okay? And so, maybe you can help people understand who should look into Protocol Gemini, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who should check it out?
I mean, I don't want to.
Come on!
But anybody who, we try to make something that pretty much everybody could get something from. We've got a lot going on. One of the big things we're doing right now is making experiences. So y'all will get a kind of taste of it with this free game game/immersive experience that we're releasing 10/10/23 into the Cyberverse. But we're also building 2 other games. We've got our metagates. We've got the mobile app. We've got
Gnarly.
a lot. What's up?
Gnarly.
Yeah. So I'd say one of the big things right now is metagates, and metagates are kind of like a private version of what you got on Spatial. So it's similar in that way, but there's much more customization. So like if you're a creator, so I'll kind of describe what they are, but you'll read more in depth. Stella did an amazing job in the magazine, but they're kind of like your own kind of nook of the mini metaverse, and you can actually connect your Web3 wallet and display your NFTs or upload 3D models if you make them and display them, and then you can customize the space really easily. And the really amazing thing, I think, is our focus on no code, and like you don't have to have all these crazy skills to be able to do stuff, and like you can literally get the same thing as somebody else but make it completely custom, that it doesn't look anything like it, without having any coding skills, not even opening Blender. You know what I mean? And to be able to do that and then showcase your art or your NFTs, like I was showing Stella the gloves, the Reina gloves, right? I had those up in my metagate.
Oh.
Showed it to her, and it's pretty amazing to be able to do that. I've had so many like artists and creators reach out to me and say like, holy crap, like I didn't have to develop all this stuff, and I get to showcase and like have this utility and function for art that I did so easily. And that's what it is. It's about democratizing technology. So
that's amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. So I would say creators and basically anyone, I want to share a couple of use cases for anyone who's listening, who's wondering, well, how can I'm not an artist. What should I do in the, in the space? You can get together with your friends and family that's not close to you. It's a great place to meet people. That cute guy at the bar who you shouldn't really invite to your apartment because he's a stranger. You can meet him in the metaverse and check him out first. There's all kinds of real life use cases for spending time together in a virtual space. So I think it's really going to be an exciting thing for me. I'm looking forward to customizing my spaces in there, Brendan. So I love all of the, it's very pretty. That's what I should say. It's very pretty. And as I was doing the research to write the articles for Alana, I always like to back my stuff up with science, right? But from your own personal experience, the environments that we are in totally influence how we talk to each other, right? And how we feel. If you're in like a nature environment and the plants are like all like swooshing around and the light is soft, don't you feel a little cozy and you feel a little bit more intimate, So it's really it's really something special. When you customize a space, you can create the mood for the experience that you want to have. So thank you so much for making this technology available. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. Who would like to share next? Ella?
Hi.
Oh, who? Dave. Dave, go.
Okay. I'll pass it to Stella. I won't forget. I promise.
No, you're good.
I forget a lot of things. I'll forget this conversation by the time it's over. But for me, I'm kind of thinking about it in two ways after hearing Brendan's answer. I think on the side of people who I really want to be able to enjoy what I do and make, looking at people who understand the intersections of all the things that I'm talking about. I always talk about, I like to use this phrase that's like, I want to make like being a fan of anime as cool as being a rapper. And I think that like there are people who really like anime and really like rappers, and those are the people who might be really interested in it. For a long time, anime wasn't a cool thing, you know. It's cool now. It's cooler now. You know, God Cloud's got on the Dragon Ball Z shirt, and so like I wear anime shirts almost every day, but today I just have on a Lakers t-shirt, so it's not, I'm out of character right now. But thinking about those people, those are like the people that I really hope can find what I'm up to. 'Cause I think people who've been consuming anime for a while got made fun of a lot for loving it, and so I'm trying to like find this space where putting it in front makes it like in succeeding at whatever I'm trying to do and having taste makes it really awesome. I have so many great examples of that in my life and in the things that I buy. And then I think as like a creative person, I am a huge fan of Donald Glover, and would love to like work on some sort of like visual vibe, like a music video or a short film or something like that. I think he has impeccable taste and is one of the people who inspired me to do all the things that I do. And I know you didn't ask for that many people, but I answered with a lot of people.
Don't worry, I'm a huge
I did.
too. We should reach out together.
Yeah. Do it.
On that note, I'm working on this project in Web3, like a concept album, and I had really wanted Donald Glover to be involved in it, and I made this whole website called Dear Donald, and it was like explaining the whole project and like explained me and like talked about all this stuff. Of course, he never saw it, but yeah, I'm also, so when the for real reach out happens, I got you.
Well, it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
I was just gonna say, you know, I think that, to be honest, actually, Black Dave, I think I met you on Clubhouse. You remember? Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the same Black Dave.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's funny because I think we had a talk about, short talk about anime then, and I was like, it's making its comeback. Like people are thinking it's cool. But I remember, I don't know, like a year ago or something when I did an interview with GameStop, and like the interviewer stopped me and he's like, is that an Akira shirt? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's dope as fuck. I'm like, yeah, it is. But like, obviously pandering to, gamers and stuff, they're going to be a lot more, prone to watching anime and playing video games and stuff. But, I think more and more, like, I'll wear something like that, that like, how many people know what Akira is, or would recognize it from a T-shirt, but it's like a dope, black and white shirt, with the bomb going off, like, and I'll get stopped sometimes when I'm wearing it and like not even remember I'm wearing it. And people are like, oh, dope, Akira. I'm like, back in my high school days, if I wore that, like nobody would recognize that, You're like, what the fuck is it? Dumb shirt, But,
you probably get a wedgie too.
Yeah, no, I never got wedgies. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? Like there's definitely people are realizing, you know, and I think part of it's just like we're spending more time online and stuff, but we're getting to know each other on a different level that we never do. Like where you're out in public, you just conform, you know, and when you're in your private and you're comfortable, like Dave was saying, you express yourself differently, where you're in your kind of comfort zone, and people are like, oh shit, you know, I love anime too. And it's not like, oh, you're a nerd. It's like, I have that shared with you and it's made public. And then other people are like, oh, you know, it's cool. Other people are saying this is cool, you know? You get what I'm saying? Is like, I think that it's a really good thing because there were already people that either enjoyed it or would enjoy it if they knew it was acceptable. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people just go off what makes them fit in. And the older I get, I'm like, I don't really care about fitting in, you know, versus finding my fit necessarily, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Something about like guilty pleasures becoming regular pleasures as you get older, right? And then you realize that everyone had the same guilty pleasure. You're like, why did we hide this from each other? We all loved it. It's kind of like this might be a bad example. Kind of like knowing a bunch of Britney Spears songs or a bunch of like Christina Aguilera songs or something like that, or even like listening to Blink-182 at a certain time. It's like those things were like things that you thought everyone hated, but it turned out everyone was listening to it privately because they thought everyone hated it. And so yeah, being yourself and like being yourself to the max and outwardly is like huge for me too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Stella, here in the States, at least in Phoenix, they'll actually do Studio Ghibli films at like legit movie theaters. Like they did Princess Mononoke. They did.
It's like, I know,
What did they do?
I know
My
we're
neighbor
not supposed to nerd
Toro.
out on this stuff, but it's really hard to keep it together because I'm such a huge anime nerd. You have to know this. These are my normal bookshelves, okay? And then I have another room with 2 other bookshelves which are dedicated to comics, anime, and manga. That's it, okay? So I'm finding this right now a very pleasurable conversation.
What's
Amazing.
the one with the cat? I'm blanking on the name. That's one of my favorites. Such an underrated one. What is it?
It's
what I'm
called
talking about?
Cat Returns. I think is that the
Cat Returns. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cat Returns.
Mm.
It's actually one of my favorites, and like you never hear about it, but I'm like, it's really, really good.
It's under the radar. I think this will be the last thing I promise. This will be my last anime thing, I promise. You guys should all go on the Studio Ghibli tip. You guys should all go and look at the American voice actors for some of those movies. Uma Thurman's playing character, Chef character, actors are voice acting these characters in these movies. So I think it might be worth it for you to like go and look at some, especially the popular ones.
Had like Billy Bob Thornton and like all these A-lists. Yeah.
Yeah. They all have
Jada
A-list
Pinkett
voice
in
actors.
Princess Mononoke too.
It had, I think, I don't want to like quote it, so I'll probably just IMDb it just to make sure. But I remember being like, what?
Yeah.
Like how many people? One sec. Oh, just continue the convo while I look it up. Don't wait.
Yeah, we're about to go off on an anime tangent. I'm really like I want to flex on. Hold on, I got to do my anime flex really quick. So this is probably one of my most treasured homies right now. So this is Vegeta in Yardrat garb doing instant transmission. This is the one time he did it in the manga, and I got him. So yeah, just a quick little flex.
I have a Goku Black skin in Fortnite. Like my favorite. That and Bender. All right, I got this here. So John DiMaggio It's got Billy Bob Thornton, Minnie Driver. I'm trying to remember Claire Danes, Jada Pinkett Smith, Keith David, Donald Glover, right? You remember? I love Keith David. Gillian Anderson, so that's Dana Scully from X-Files.
These are huge. Isn't that crazy? Like, just secretly, we don't even know what's happening. Like, they're all just
huge.
Yeah.
This is the magic of what happens when you find friends. See? You know, this is how work becomes play. And it all began, right? Because one person shared. And this is what we're talking about. So, you know, you want this in your life. You know, you want your friends to reveal their desires. Isn't it funny, right? I didn't know. I know Stella loved anime, but and I knew God Cloud, right? But I this was all a surprise to me. And now we have this thing that we share. It's just like Dave said. There's this thing that we share, and now it's public. And this is the beauty of Web3, like really in action. We came together like for this like shared passion, this technology, and then we got to know each other better. And you know, and then Brendan and Dave even realized that they met before. Like this is going to happen again and again. And I think this is why this space is so special, because something special happens when you're pioneering. And the truth is that none of us does this alone, and we really do need each other. And these, you know, these non sequitur conversations are also important. Because it's the human part of what we do. So definitely, you know, always indulge your friends, indulge your whims, and everything that brings you delight, because it can't all be work unless your work is play. So I want to, yeah, I want to ask, so back to what we were talking about, right? I know, I think a couple people hadn't shared their insights, right? So I want to give you an opportunity to share your insights on this last topic before we close.
Is it anime?
No, but
No,
for the sleepover part 2, everyone bring your best toys and let's rock it like that. We're all coming to your place, Brendan. We're all going to New Orleans. So
I'm from New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Well, we're all going to New Orleans. You too. Come on, let's go. Sorry, but the beignets, the donuts, the beignets are just so good. But yeah.
Daiquiris. I had charbroiled oysters. Anybody know what that is? All right, so you get an oyster on the half shell. You put butter, garlic, and Parmesan, and then you fry it up in like a broiler.
Oh,
killer!
Damn.
Yeah.
It's so sexy. So we got some plans. We're gonna have a conversation part 2. But for today, if anyone else would like to share your insights, this was the last question of this session. So Stella, I know you had some insights to share, please, because your insights are always so money too.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so you were essentially asking if there is someone that. And I'm totally echoing out right now, sorry.
Oh, you sound great to me.
Yeah, okay, cool. So the one thing that so when I started token engineering last year, some of you know I've been studying this, right, with the Token Engineering Academy, and I almost finished. Like there's one exam left. I was supposed to take it this morning, but I really was not in the shape to do it. But the point of this is that when I started this, I met so many other people, very different people from us here in this space, right? And obviously, you know, you meet these new people and you come to admire them because they have knowledge, or in my case, this is what, you know, what gets me going. Like if someone has knowledge that I don't have yet and that I find fascinating, then those are the people that I want to meet, right? And so I got to meet one token engineer who is also the founder of Ocean Protocol. I don't know if you guys know what Ocean Protocol is right now, not really important, but interesting enough, he has written a real good amount of articles on the ideas of token development and token simulation and analysis. I was just so excited when I got to meet him in person last year during DEF CON in Bogota. I was just like, you know, like a fangirl, like you would be when you meet a musician for the first time or stuff. But I think the point that I want to make is it's not really about the category of person, right? Or one specific person that I want to meet. It's more about the people that I've already met online and I'm always eager to meet in real life at some point. That's one story. And the other story is if I find someone online that's just blowing my mind on a, you know, like on a streak, like when you're Super Mario Kart full on and you're just cashing in all the time without a stop, right? Then you want to meet this person, right? But I've never been like a specific fan of one specific someone that I put on a pedestal or something. I also find this quite dangerous, and I think in the past years, it's been kind of shown, as you know, social media has enabled, would be interesting to put a new conversation on that topic. Apparently social media has enabled fans to get closer to their idols. You guys are in music, right? So you might have had your fair share of experience with that. And while this is awesome, it can also become quite a hassle for the musician because they're not respected as individuals anymore, rather as this idea of something, right? And I found this observation or a study that they made, I found it really interesting because on the one hand, you know, the metaverse enables you to be also safer again because you don't have to show yourself all the time with your real face. You can also be your avatar, right? And you can still be very close to your fans and interact with them almost like tangibly, directly. I don't know, I'm totally spinning out of control. You should really stop me. Anyhow, this has been a fantastic space. I've been really enjoying the conversation.
Me too. Me too. No, this is a really important thing that you brought up, Stella, and I appreciate you acknowledging how social media has made all of us more accessible to other people. I think it's really interesting. Yeah, that is very unique.
It is.
Yeah, Dubstilo, who would you like to meet, and what would you like to? How would you like that to be? What kind of people would you like to meet and interact with?
I would, you know, it's a tough question. You know, I love just turning the key off and being a fan. That's one of my favorite things to do. You know, if there's a virtual concert, I will go in the Oculus, you know, in VR, and I will put my hands up and I will be that guy dancing. I don't care who, you know, I love being a fan of people, artists doing something special. So I don't think there's anyone specific, but I really do want to keep I want to see this space grow, you know, and this is a really interesting time that we're in, and it's exciting to see where it's going to go, and it's very interesting, you know, to be here next to you guys. Like, I never thought that I would meet someone like Maximilian or Stella or Brendan or Dave or Philip. You know, I have heard of Philip Godcloud. I know Cyber Protocol is, you know, they have been doing some, like, someone, you know, randomly was like, yo, there's this insane rave going on in VR, like, you gotta come check it out. And I went in there, I was blown away, and I've been a fan ever since. So everything they do, I'm like, I'm on it. I'm in there. And you know, I'm excited for
next one.
Yeah, I'm excited for everything that that I didn't, you know, so just being here right now, you know, next to like-minded individuals, I'm just honored and blessed. I'm really grateful, and I'm excited to see where this goes, and I want to be involved. Like, I actually want to have this go on, you know, over and over. I want to talk about anime. I want to talk about where we all came from. I think we all came from a very similar place. We have similar emotions and feelings. So I want to keep this going. I would love to just keep meeting people like this. You know, I think this is a beautiful time where there's a lot of genuine things going on. I think when like the buzzwords came a year and a half ago and it just like, you know, flooded everything in, it got me here. it's because of that I'm here. But to be here now still and involved with you guys is just great. So I want to keep that going.
I love this conversation. God Cloud, who would, so imagine, let me just reframe it. Imagine someone's watching, right? So who would you like to meet and reach out to you, and what kinds of things would you like to show them, or could you show them? Or would you like to, how would you like to engage with them?
First thing, I didn't know that you could see my real name on here, so I guess I'm doxxed now.
Yeah.
It only has Philip.
That's still too much. But
Ego, it's not his real name.
Oh shit! Yeah, Dosito was like, "Oh, Phil," I'm like, "What the what?" But, okay, all right. So that I was thinking about, how to answer this question, and like a lot of the people who I look up to, I've fortunately been able to like really meet and like talk to and then learn from, and that got me thinking, just like who could I really talk to, and that would like benefit me or just in general. And I gotta say, like, I'd love to talk to my younger self at this point, but if you're really looking at it, you're always going to be kind of talking to your younger self, because you're as time goes, you're just getting old. Like even right now, younger self, but now I'm older, so whatever. But I tell you what, like the type of people who I like to surround myself with, and Web3 especially has made this a lot easier to do, or just people who are farther ahead in what I want to do. Like I mentioned, I'm working with Andy Vargas from Santana and George Lopez. Like the fact that I'm able to talk to them and like just learn from them. The fact that I'm not the coolest person in the room, the person with the most accomplishments in the room, that really inspires me. And when they turn to me and they're basically like, "Hey, add value," I got to dig deep, and I can't disappoint, so I don't want to not be called back. Like I can't, like what? Oh, I can't add value. You know what I mean? So just more, more people who have more than me, people who are more established, people who have larger accolades and everything. Like right now too, I'm talking to some of my friends who they just launched a bank, like a legit bank, and I'm like, I don't know anything about that. And and I'm like, "Hey, can you guys, take me under your wing and really show me how you're doing what you're doing?" And they're like, "Yeah, so those are the type of people who I like to, surround myself with and learn from, and I'm always trying to think of like, how can I set up future me for something better, So no, that was a weird roundabout answer, but
it was the great answer. It was amazing. Well,
I want to add two things to that. I'm going to say no one's necessarily more accomplished than you. They're differently accomplished than you, right? So we all have our strengths. We all do our different things. There's things that you can do that not a single person on the planet can do. So never put yourself down. I'm not saying you were, but I'm saying you just got to keep that in mind, because it's a good thing to surround yourself with people that you think are accomplished. Because if you feel like, whether it's true or not, but if you feel like you're the most accomplished person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. You know what I mean? And you're not growing. So, if you put yourself in situations where you're with people that you respect and acknowledge the things like, Stella will show me stuff and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so awesome." Like, that looks great. And then it'll like give me inspiration for something that I do. Like if you surround yourself with people like that, you're going to do great things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if I could just add one more thing, like basically my goal, what I'm doing right now, what drives me is connectivity and connection. So I've been doing I was streaming online, like on YouTube, and I was like, man, if I could do this and reach the world, this would be insane, and basically what like the quote unquote metaverse or these immersive experiences have done for me with like digital identity and like getting to connect and meet people like you guys, meet people, everyone in this room, make like more friends and be connected to the world. So my whole thing is like, I want to be that example of being like, hey, this is like a 3D SoundCloud. This is a 3D website. This is a way to do your music in 3D. Do you want to turn, like, I want to show you that you can turn your screen into a street corner, you know, into a stage, and you can do your thing. So I don't see it done very much, but I want to do that for myself and to show as to be the example of what can be done for other artists. You know, for me, like I had, you know, so little subscribers. Ever since I found the metaverse, it 10x'd. My streams 10x'd. Everything has 10x'd because of this new open free internet. So I want to meet people. I want to show people that that's who I want to quote unquote meet.
Love that. I love that about you, Stilo. Yeah, thank you. You know, I feel like that's something that sentiment that you expressed so beautifully. I feel that's something that each of us shares. And yeah, you know, when it comes to me, so I'm getting ready to embark upon a super kind journey. So I mentioned earlier, I'm a screenwriter and performer, actor, right? And so my big dream has always been to act because I love doing it. I love singing and doing the music too. So of course, you know, soundtracks don't be nice and don't see little, you know, all these people right here gonna be on the soundtrack. But I realized that to do what I wanted to do, nobody was giving me a shot. Nobody was giving me a shot. And I needed to create it myself. I have to build the stage, I have to build the thing. So I worked on my skills for a long time. And I can say I've mastered all these things and to make the show. And so I'm getting ready to start building the metaverse sets. And then I'm going to be filming. I'm using MetaHumans to do the characters. So I'm really interested in meeting anyone who has been or is developing anything to do with like motion capture, whether it's software, hardware. I am your huckleberry. I've got the scripts, I've got all the voices, I got all the talent, and I really want to do as much of this by myself as possible, just for the first couple episodes, so that I can present my pure vision, and then I can say, do you get it? And everybody who gets it, then we can all, play on and work it together. But motion capture, I have very little experience with that. I've done a couple productions where I got to use that, but there was a whole team and the technology was different. And so, if I know that for developers, the most important thing is like getting people to use your stuff, right? And so I'm willing to do that. So if someone's developing something in this way, or I'm creating a series that's being shot in the metaverse. If you're working on something, whether it's art or whatever, if you feel like you want to be a part of that, definitely holler at me because I'd love to meet you. So that's me. And yeah, without further ado, let me hand the conch back to Stella to bring us together and close this session. Although the truth is, I really don't want to leave any of you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think none of us are getting tired of this here anytime soon, but I can tell that some of our European listeners, they have left. The ones that I knew, because for them it's getting really late. But anyway, it's been a really good conversation. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for taking time for this conversation, because it's time that goes off from whatever else you wanted to do tonight. So really thank you. That also counts for everyone who is attending in the space. Thank you, Maximilian, for being our awesome Mistress of Ceremonies. And when it comes to the Alana magazine, stay tuned. You guys, if you are subscribed to the Alana magazine dedicated newsletter, then there will be no troubles. We're going to inform you next week when everything is really ready. And I want to quickly say thank you to our partners, Protocol Gemini being one of them, but also 010 app, who was there in the earlier event space. Also Unlock Protocol, Nifty Kid, PinkCryptoBabe for providing the space to us. And did I forget anyone? I feel like I forgot someone. I think I forgot someone. But but I hope I really didn't. Also want to bring, can I say this, Maximilian Dope Stealer? Can I make people a little bit curious that we're brewing something together? Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah? Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, we're not quite sure what exactly we are brewing
I
yet.
know what it is.
Oh, okay, perfect. One of us
give it
knows,
to us.
so it's good. But anyway, we're cooking something up for you later this month, so stay tuned for that as well. And also, Brandon and I, we will have a little bit of a surprise in the coming week. So please take your selfies. I wrote it like 10 times in the stream, right? So please take your selfies in the space. The space will be up until next Wednesday. So you can still grab the attendance badge until then. You can still take your selfies until then. But do it, okay? It's gonna be a good thing to do. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Anyway,
that's the Galfa. She's telling you. She's giving you the Galfa. You know, for anyone who's for someone for someone who's listening, going what she's saying. Go into spatial and take a selfie, because later you'll have an opportunity to use that selfie and get something really cool. And you can't, unless you got a time machine, you won't be able to go back in time because the space will be gone. So when the goodies come out, you have to have already taken your selfie. So don't wait.
And also, before I shut down this Google meeting, I want to invite all of you guys to just quickly come and hop into Spatial if you're not already there, so we can take a group picture with everyone who's still left in front of the photo wall. That would be really amazing if you guys are good for it.
Do you have admin by any chance? Like host tools?
Not quite. Why? Do
Okay,
I need to
because
do something?
I have VR, so I wanted to take a selfie stick in VR, but it's cool. No worries.
Oh, that would have been such a good idea. No.
Well, we'll do it on October 25th.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the way. That's the way. Alrighty. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And also, this has been live streamed and recorded, so it should be up in a minute. Use it however you want, because you all said very valuable things. So I hope you just take it out of here. You snip it up out of this video and put this on your own socials, because that's how you do it, right? Okay, thank you, and
Thanks,
see you
guys.
in Spatial.
Thank you, Stella.
Bye.
Big
Thanks,
love to all of you.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.